The more Dave tried, the worse things got. Just don't touch anything, whispered Morley, taking a clove-studded orange from Dave's hand. Everyone was in the kitchen, and everyone was busy. Morley was tossing the salad. Bert was taking pictures. Mary was dusting the turkey with cinnamon. "Well, what can I do?" whispered Dave to Morley. Just be helpful," said Morley. "Just look around for something that needs doing and just do it, don't ask." Dave couldn't see anything that needed doing in the kitchen, so he went in the dining room. There were flower petals and little pieces of bronze-colored glitter all over the dining room table. Dave went to the hall closet and got the hand vac and hoovered them up. Then he picked up a pack of matches from the buffet and headed toward the mantel. One by one, he lit the wicks in the heads of the little wax choir. A few of the oldest figures burned remarkably fast. The little wax puddle at the top of their heads sunk into their skulls, so the flame of the candle shone through their eyes. It gave them a slightly demonic look. It would be more dramatic, thought Dave, if he dimmed the room lights. That way the candles would be the first thing you saw when you came into the room. They were certainly the first thing that Mary saw when she came into the room. She was carrying a salmon appetizer. They managed to pick most of the salmon off the floor before the Turlington's dog got too much. Dave scooped up the biggest piece and wiped it off on a napkin. 5-second rule, he said, grinning. Hold it right there, said Bert, reaching for his camera. Somehow or other, they managed to get through the meal. After the candles and the salmon fiasco, Mary had headed back into the kitchen like an army general determined to overcome defeat in the field. Bert kept jumping up and blinding everyone with a flash of his camera at regular intervals, and Morley hung on to her wine glass like a drowning woman clutching a life preserver. In fact, by the time the turkey was finished, things seemed to have settled down so nicely that Dave felt it might just be safe to help out again. He headed into the kitchen to see about the plum pudding. "You'll need more than that," said Dave, as he watched Mary douse the pudding with a shot glass of liquor. Now, whether or not she did need more is a moot point. Point is, if Mary had added just a little more, everything might have been all right. But she didn't. Mary wasn't about to let Dave tell her how things should be done in her kitchen. So instead of adding just a little more brandy, Mary looked at Dave icily and she said, "That'll be plenty." And Dave, moved by only the best of intentions, Dave, not wanting anything more to go wrong, waited until Mary wasn't looking and gave the pudding an extra shot of brandy anyway. And Mary, not wanting to be proved wrong about how much brandy you needed to light a plum pudding, waited until Dave wasn't looking and gave it 2 extra shots herself. So the pudding was well and truly soaked when Mary carried it to the table and struck a match. There was a whoosh and a bright blue flash, and the pudding went up like a Roman candle. A number of things caught fire. Most spectacularly, the cinnamon-colored silk ribbon that Mary had wrapped around the bun at the top of her head. The ribbon acted like a wick. And in an instant, blue flames were shooting out of Mary's heavily hairsprayed hair. She stood stock still there by the table, holding the match in front of her, looking like the Statue of Liberty on fire. Bert jumped for his camera. Unfortunately, it was Dave who put her out. He used a pitcher of eggnog. It was hours later, after Mary's hair had been put out, and the dining room generally hosed down, and the twins in bed, and Dave and Morley safe at home, that Mary's sister Emma phoned. Mary took the portable phone into the den while Bert finished tidying in the kitchen. "Emmy sent her love," said Mary when she returned. Her eyes were red. She'd obviously been crying. "I guess I miss her," she said. I hadn't thought of her all day. I hadn't missed her at all, but you know, I've never had a Christmas without her. Did you know that?" "Did you tell her about the candles?" said Bert. "And the pudding," said Mary, wiping her eyes on the sleeve of her plaid shirt. "She reminded me of the Christmas the dog ate the turkey, and the time Adam knocked the tree over. Remember that?" "Family and friends," said Bert. "Family and friends. They sure mess up our lives." "They sure do," said Mary. But she was smiling now. "They sure do." Thank you very much.